Someone insults you in public. They expect anger. They expect a reaction. They expect you to defend yourself, argue, and lose control. But you simply look at them, stay calm, and continue walking. In that moment, something powerful happens. They realize they cannot control you. And when nobody can control your emotions, nobody can control your life. Today, we're talking about one of the most powerful Stoic principles ever practiced. No reaction. No fear. If you're ready to build unshakable mental strength, subscribe to Stoic Ascension, stay until the end, and let us know in the comments, have you ever stayed calm when everyone expected you to react? Now let's begin. Most people spend their lives reacting. They react to criticism. They react to bad news. They react to rude people. They react to every obstacle that appears in their path. Their emotions become remote-controlled by the opinions and actions of others. The Stoics understood something different. They knew that external events are not the true problem. The real problem is our reaction to them. A young man once worked under a difficult manager. Every day the manager criticized him. Every mistake was magnified. Every success was ignored. At first, the young man became angry. He argued back. He defended himself. He carried the frustration home every evening. His peace disappeared. One day he remembered a Stoic lesson. He realized the manager's words only had power if he allowed them inside his mind. The next time criticism came, he listened quietly. He learned what was useful. He ignored what was not. Weeks later something interesting happened. The manager continued speaking the same way. But the young man was no longer suffering. The situation remained the same. His reaction changed. And that changed everything. This is the first power of Stoicism. No reaction does not mean weakness. It means mastery. Anyone can explode. Anyone can shout. Anyone can lose control. Very few people can remain calm while chaos surrounds them. A mountain does not move because the wind is strong. A Stoic does not break because circumstances are difficult. The world respects calm strength. People may not admit it. But they notice it. When everyone else is emotional and one person remains composed, attention naturally shifts toward that person. Why? Because calmness signals confidence. It signals control. It signals inner power. Fear works in a similar way. Most fears are stories we tell ourselves. Fear of failure. Fear of rejection. Fear of embarrassment. Fear of being judged. The Stoics believe that fear often hurts us more than reality itself. A merchant once lost most of his business during a difficult economic season. He spent weeks worrying. He imagined disaster. He imagined poverty. He imagined losing everything. Every night he suffered. Months later he realized something. The future he feared never arrived. The pain came not from reality but from imagination. How many times have we done the same? How many nights have we spent worrying about situations that never happened? Fear steals energy from the present moment. It forces us to suffer twice. First in our minds. Then, if the problem actually arrives, in reality. The Stoic path teaches us something simple. Face reality. Not imagination. Deal with what exists. Not with what might happen. When you stop feeding fear, fear begins to starve. Think about a soldier standing before battle. The inexperienced soldier trembles because he imagines every possible disaster. The experienced soldier focuses only on what he can control. His actions. His preparation. His discipline. The battle may be uncertain. But his mind remains steady. This is how we should approach life. Not with panic. Not with fear. But with preparation and courage. Another important lesson is understanding that people often provoke reactions because they seek power. Someone insults you. Someone mocks you. Someone spreads rumors. What do they want? Your reaction. They want emotional control over you. The moment you lose your composure, they succeed. A wise Stoic understands this. A wise Stoic refuses to hand over control. There was an old shop owner known throughout his town for his patience. Customers sometimes arrived angry. They complained loudly. They blamed him for things beyond his control. Yet he rarely argued. He listened. He remained calm. He responded respectfully. One day someone asked him how he stayed so peaceful. He smiled and said, "I refuse to let strangers decide my mood." That simple sentence contains profound wisdom. Most people allow strangers to determine whether they have a good day or a bad day. A rude comment ruins their morning. A negative opinion destroys their confidence. A disagreement steals their peace. The Stoic chooses differently. The Stoic protects the mind. Just as a king protects a kingdom. No reaction. No fear. No surrender of inner peace. Life will test you repeatedly. You will encounter betrayal. You will encounter disappointment. You will encounter unfair situations. The question is not whether these challenges will come. The question is how you will respond. A young athlete trained for years to reach a championship competition. He sacrificed comfort. He sacrificed leisure. He sacrificed countless hours. When the competition finally arrived, he lost. The defeat crushed him. For weeks he questioned himself. Then his coach shared a Stoic perspective. The coach told him that victory was never fully within his control. Effort was. Discipline was. Preparation was. Character was. The athlete realized he had been measuring success incorrectly. His true victory was becoming stronger through the process. The next season he returned with a different mindset. Less fear. Less attachment. More focus. More courage. And eventually success followed. Many people fail because fear prevents action. They fear starting a business. They fear speaking publicly. They fear approaching opportunities. They fear failure so much that they never begin. Yet every successful person has faced fear. The difference is not the absence of fear. The difference is action despite fear. Courage is not feeling fearless. Courage is moving forward anyway. The Stoics practiced this daily. They understood that discomfort is part of growth. Every challenge is an opportunity to strengthen the mind. Every obstacle becomes training. Every setback becomes education. Imagine two people walking through a storm. One curses the rain. Complains about the wind. Wishes the storm would disappear. The other accepts the reality of the weather. Adjusts accordingly. Keeps moving. Both face the same storm. Only one reaches the destination peacefully. Acceptance is not surrender. Acceptance is clarity. You cannot effectively fight reality. You can only respond wisely to it. When you stop arguing with reality, you gain energy to improve it. This is why Stoics appear calm under pressure. Not because they have easier lives, but because they waste less energy resisting what already exists. Another reason people react emotionally is ego. Someone questions their intelligence. Someone challenges their status. Someone disagrees with their beliefs. Immediately the ego feels threatened. The reaction begins. But the Stoics constantly reminded themselves that the ego is fragile. Wisdom requires humility. A philosopher was once publicly criticized by a man who disliked him. Instead of arguing, the philosopher listened carefully. When asked why he remained silent, he answered, "If the criticism is true, I should learn from it." If it is false, I need not be disturbed. What a powerful mindset. Imagine how peaceful life would become if we practiced this daily. Not every criticism deserves a response. Not every opinion deserves attention. Not every battle deserves participation. Sometimes the strongest move is silence. Sometimes the strongest response is no response. The world often rewards emotional restraint more than emotional outbursts. Think about leaders. Think about successful entrepreneurs. Think about respected individuals. Many share a common trait. They remain composed under pressure. They think before acting. They respond instead of reacting. Reaction is impulsive. Response is intentional. Reaction belongs to emotion. Response belongs to wisdom. The Stoic chooses wisdom. No reaction. No fear. There is also freedom in letting go. Many people carry old wounds for years. An insult from the past. A betrayal from years ago. A mistake they cannot forgive themselves for. The burden becomes heavier with time. A traveler carrying unnecessary stones eventually becomes exhausted. The same happens mentally. The Stoics encouraged releasing what no longer serves you. Learn the lesson. Keep the wisdom. Drop the weight. A man once carried resentment toward a former friend for over 10 years. Every mention of the friend's name triggered anger. Every memory reopened old wounds. One day he realized something. The other person had moved on long ago. Only he remained imprisoned. The resentment was hurting him more than anyone else. When he finally let go, he felt lighter. Freer. Stronger. Forgiveness is not always about the other person. Sometimes it is about reclaiming your own peace. No reaction. No fear. No chains. One of the greatest fears people face is uncertainty. Not knowing what comes next. Not knowing whether things will work out. Not knowing what tomorrow holds. Yet uncertainty has always existed. No one has complete control over the future. The Stoics accepted this reality. Instead of demanding certainty, they developed resilience. A sailor cannot control the ocean. But he can strengthen his ship. Likewise, you cannot control every event in life. But you can strengthen your character. Character survives storms. Character survives failure. Character survives uncertainty. This is why Stoicism remains relevant thousands of years later. Human nature has not changed. People still struggle with fear. People still struggle with anger. People still struggle with criticism and adversity. The solutions remain surprisingly similar. Focus on what you control. Release what you do not. Stay calm. Stay disciplined. Stay courageous. No reaction. No fear. Imagine waking up tomorrow with this mindset fully installed. An insult arrives. You remain calm. A setback appears. You remain focused. A challenge emerges. You remain determined. A fear whispers in your ear. You continue forward. How different would your life become? How many opportunities would open? How much peace would return? How much energy would be saved? The strongest people are not always the loudest. They are often the calmest. Their power comes from self-control. Their confidence comes from discipline. Their peace comes from wisdom. The Stoics knew that true strength is internal, not external. Anyone can appear strong when life is easy. The real test comes during hardship. The real test comes when emotions rise. The real test comes when fear knocks on the door. That is when character reveals itself. That is when Stoicism matters most. As you move through life, remember this simple principle. Do not give your peace away cheaply. Do not surrender your mind to every opinion. Do not allow fear to dictate your decisions. Guard your inner world. Protect your focus. Strengthen your character. And whenever life challenges you, remember these words. No reaction. No fear. Only calm strength. Only disciplined action. Only forward movement. The journey does not end when you learn these principles. The real transformation begins when you practice them every day. Knowledge alone changes nothing. A person can read every Stoic book ever written and still become angry at the smallest inconvenience. Another person may know only a few Stoic ideas but apply them consistently and become mentally unshakable. The difference is practice. Every morning gives you an opportunity to train your mind. Before the world begins making demands of you, remind yourself of what may happen during the day. Someone may disagree with you. Someone may disappoint you. Plans may change. Unexpected problems may appear. The Stoics called this preparation. Not pessimism. Preparation. When challenges arrive, they no longer shock you. You expected them. You prepared for them. And because you prepared for them, they lose much of their power. A wise teacher once told his student, "The calm sea does not create skilled sailors." The student did not understand at first. Years later, after enduring countless difficulties, he finally understood. Every challenge had strengthened him. Every obstacle had taught him something valuable. Every setback had developed patience. The storms he once hated had become his greatest teachers. Life works the same way. The situations you wish to avoid often contain the lessons you need most. The criticism that hurts your ego may reveal an area for growth. The failure that disappoints you may redirect you toward a better path. The obstacle blocking your progress may force you to become more creative, more disciplined, and more resilient. When viewed through Stoic eyes, adversity changes its appearance. It stops looking like punishment. It starts looking like training. A blacksmith places metal into fire. The fire is intense. The heat is uncomfortable. But without the fire, the metal never becomes stronger. Without pressure, it remains weak. Human character develops the same way. Comfort rarely creates greatness. Challenges do. This is why the Stoics did not run from difficulty. They embraced it. Not because they enjoyed suffering, but because they understood its purpose. Most people ask, "Why is this happening to me?" The Stoic asks, "What can this teach me?" That single change in perspective can transform your entire life. Imagine losing an opportunity you worked hard for. Most people immediately react with frustration. They complain. They blame circumstances. They become bitter. The Stoic pauses. The Stoic reflects. The Stoic searches for the lesson. Maybe more preparation was needed. Maybe timing was wrong. Maybe something better lies ahead. Whatever the answer, the Stoic refuses to become a victim. Because victims surrender power. Stoics take responsibility. Responsibility is one of the most empowering forces in existence. When you accept responsibility for your responses, your growth accelerates. You stop waiting for life to become easier. You become stronger instead. There was a man who spent years blaming everyone around him for his problems. His family. His co-workers. His circumstances. His bad luck. According to him, everything was someone else's fault. Yet his life never improved. One day an older mentor gave him a simple challenge. For 30 days, stop blaming anyone. Focus only on what you can improve. At first, it felt impossible. But gradually he began noticing opportunities everywhere. Instead of complaining, he started acting. Instead of making excuses, he started learning. Instead of reacting emotionally, he started thinking clearly. Within a year his life looked completely different. The circumstances had not magically changed. His mindset had. And mindset changes everything. No reaction. No fear. No excuses. Only growth. One of the greatest forms of strength is emotional independence. Many people depend on external validation to feel valuable. They need approval. They need praise. They need recognition. Without it, they feel insecure. The Stoics warned against this trap. If your happiness depends on other people's opinions, your happiness is fragile. Opinions change constantly. One day people praise you. The next day they criticize you. One day they support you. Courage is acting with wisdom despite fear. So walk forward with confidence. Walk forward with discipline. Walk forward with calm strength. Let others react. Let others panic. Let others surrender to fear. You choose a different path. The path of resilience. The path of self-mastery. The path of Stoicism. No reaction. No fear. Only strength. Only wisdom. Only growth. As you continue this journey, understand one truth that separates ordinary people from extraordinary ones. Extraordinary people do not have fewer fears. They simply refuse to obey them. Fear often disguises itself as logic. It tells you not to start because you might fail. It tells you not to speak because people might judge you. It tells you not to dream because you might be disappointed. And slowly, without realizing it, many people build their entire lives around avoidance. They avoid risks. They avoid challenges. They avoid discomfort. They avoid growth. Years pass. Opportunities disappear. Everyone experiences periods when life feels unfair. Plans collapse. Relationships end. Dreams seem distant. Motivation disappears. In those moments, many people lose hope. The Stoics chose a different response. They trusted the process of growth. A tree does not become mighty overnight. It survives storms. It survives droughts. It survives harsh seasons. Year after year, it grows stronger. Human beings develop the same way. Strength is built slowly. Patience is built slowly. Wisdom is built slowly. Resilience is built slowly. Do not underestimate the power of small daily improvements. A single disciplined action may seem insignificant today. But repeated consistently, it transforms your future. A single workout. A single page read. A single courageous conversation. A single moment of self-control. Each one is a vote for the person you are becoming. And over time those votes accumulate. One day people will see your confidence and think it appeared suddenly. They will see your discipline and think it came naturally. They will see your calmness and think you were born that way. They will not see the countless moments when you chose growth over comfort. They will not see the battles you fought within yourself. They will not see the fears you faced quietly. But you will know. And that knowledge creates genuine confidence. Not arrogance. Not ego. Confidence. The confidence that comes from keeping promises to yourself. The confidence that comes from discipline. The confidence that comes from overcoming challenges. This kind of confidence cannot be given. It must be earned. And once earned, it becomes difficult to take away. The Stoics often reminded themselves that every day could be their last. Not because they were obsessed with death. Because they were obsessed with living fully. When you understand that life is temporary, you begin valuing what truly matters. You value integrity. You value purpose. You value relationships. You value time. Suddenly, petty arguments lose importance. Meaningless distractions lose importance. Unnecessary fears lose importance. You begin living with greater intention. You stop drifting. You start directing. A ship without direction is controlled by the wind. A person without purpose is controlled by circumstances. Purpose provides stability during difficult times. Purpose gives meaning to sacrifice. Purpose gives strength during adversity. Find something worth striving for. Something greater than comfort. Something greater than convenience. And commit yourself fully to it. The Stoics believed that a meaningful life was built through virtue. Through wisdom. Through courage. Through discipline. Through justice. These qualities remain valuable today because human nature remains the same. Technology changes. Society changes. Trends change. But character still matters. Integrity still matters. Self-control still matters. Courage still matters. And those who develop these qualities possess something incredibly rare. Inner freedom. The freedom to remain calm when others panic. The freedom to remain focused when others become distracted. The freedom to remain courageous when others surrender to fear. This freedom cannot be purchased. It cannot be inherited. It must be cultivated. Day by day. Choice by choice. Moment by moment. So when life challenges you tomorrow, remember what you've learned. When criticism arrives, stay calm. When fear appears, move forward anyway. When obstacles arise, search for the lesson. When emotions intensify, pause before reacting. When uncertainty appears, trust your preparation. And when the world tries to pull you into chaos, protect your peace. Because your peace is your power. Your discipline is your power. Your character is your power. No reaction. No fear. Only steady progress. Only quiet confidence. Only unwavering strength. The world may be loud. But your mind can remain silent. The world may be chaotic. But your spirit can remain calm. The world may be uncertain. But your principles can remain firm. That is the Stoic way. That is the path of true strength. That is the path of Stoic ascension. If this message inspired you, share your thoughts in the comments below and tell us which part spoke to you the most. And if you're committed to becoming mentally stronger, emotionally disciplined, and impossible to intimidate, subscribe to Stoic Ascension for more powerful Stoic wisdom. Until next time, stay calm. Stay fearless. Stay disciplined. And keep ascending.